Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Recently I just took advantage of the July sale from Slip2000, the 725, the sale on July 25th. I wonder if you guys did as well, but I bought a lot of stuff from them, primarily some 725 gun degreaser, which was 50% off, along with a couple other things. And one of the things was some Slip2000 EWL oil. So I was rummaging around, checking my inventory of all the oils I had, and I found something that I've never used before, but I've had this for a while. I got it in a Christmas present a long time ago, but it's Hops 9 lubricating gun oil. So what I want to do today is actually compare these two different oils, and let's just see how they perform. So I've got a couple pistols here as well to test. They're both striker fired pistols. The one here on the right is the Steyr, and this is the M9A2MF version. And then on the left is the popular P365 made by Sig Sauer. Here in the middle, you see the two different oils that I'm going to compare. And here's the color differences. I put them in syringes because we're going to try and measure out exactly the right amounts on each pistol so that we can try to make this as much of a fair test as possible. So as you can see on the right here, this is the Hops 9. It's a kind of a clear oil. And the one on the left here, the Slip2000 EWL, is a little bit tan or beige in there. So it's a little gold color there. And so just to let you know, they also don't smell, either one of them. And we know that the Slip2000 is non-toxic, whereas the Hops 9 says it's eye and skin irritant. Probably not going to wear gloves today, but you know, usually I will wear gloves if I'm cleaning the pistols, but that's up to you how you want to do it. So anyway, we're going to set these off to the side a little bit and we're going to focus on here. So what I want to do is actually try to lubricate all of the metal surfaces that are rubbing against each other. It doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to use all of the lubrication in this needle here, but we'll just keep track of how much we put on each firearm. We're going to have some lubrication on this firing pin. Usually I don't like to lubricate these because I don't want to attract any dirt or carbon in there. But since this seems to have to rub in this little chamber here, whereas typically they don't on other models, then I'm going to lube it up a little bit. So here, just apply a little bit here. I'm going to put it in here and let it work itself around because I don't want to rub with my fingers or wipe and then now we don't exactly know how much we put on it. For that, we'll go ahead and put this down inside the slide as well, but I'd like to put a little bit of oil there like that. We'll drop, we'll do the same on the Sig later, because that's also where the top of the barrel slides against the slide. Lubricate into these slots here where it rides onto the frame. Start back here, let's see where we're at on the lubrication. So we're at 2.8 millimeters, by the way. Now we're at 2.7. So we haven't used that much yet. I'm going to use enough till I start seeing it drip down. I think a little bit at the end and a little bit at the middle. We'll do the same on the other side. So we've used about 0.3 milliliters so far. And actually what I want to also do, I've just realized you can use the oils to also help clean the firearms. So let's lubricate also these metal surfaces so that we can see how easy it is to clean the firearms with using Slip2000 and Hops 9. I'm trying to use comparable pistols that I have. Both of these are, I mean, obviously the Steyr is bigger because the P365 is quite small, but these are the two smaller pistols that I had. So we're just going to do the best we can to keep the test fair with maybe all of the lube in the same areas at least. Let's also lube the barrel. Put a little bit of oil here on the patches. And I always like to lube the barrel to at least keep it conditioned, prevent rust. I mean, I'm going to go shooting tomorrow, but let's just do what I typically do with lubrication. So now you can see the barrel's nice and shiny here. And that'll also help gauge, I guess, how easy it is to maybe clean the barrel, which will be good information later. So now we have to lubricate here. And let's just see. What I like to do is lubricate any moving parts that I see. So I can see this bar here is moving against the frame. Put a little drop of oil here in the trigger hinge. And by the way, that's not lube, that's just some residue, I guess, from cleaning. I'll go ahead and lube this up too, even though the slide is lubricated. But keep this conditioned to see if we can prevent any wear and tear back here as well. A little bit on top there. And this will work itself in once I get the slide on and cycle it back and forth. So back here where it drops the firing pin, put it on the hinges. All right. You can see that moving a little bit, maybe in here too. I think that looks good, guys. What do you think? Hopefully I didn't miss any spots, but we have used actually 0.9 milliliters of lubrication there. So we try to use about the same amount on the Sig. Cycle it through a little bit. Now we'll do a function check. So we'll pull the trigger, hold the trigger back, released, and the reset and pull again, and it works. Let's do the same for the Sig P365. Let's put the hops away. Now we're doing Slip2000 EWL. We'll go ahead and put some lubrication on a patch and run it through the barrel. Now that I got a system in place of what I am going to do. All right, that's about the same that I put on with the hops, right? This is a smaller barrel, by the way. Look down in there. Yeah, the barrel is quite spiffy clean. It's nice and shiny. So the barrel's done. Put your drop of oil here. Lube these areas. We'll start in the back like before. And in the middle. Okay. Let that drip. Good amount of lube here in the rails. Okay, let's go ahead and put this barrel back on. Inside. Like that. And by the way, I see some bare metal there. I'm going to lubricate that real quick. Let's go back to the Steyr. That might be a part that I missed. Let's go ahead. Okay, we got to use the hops for this. Put the hops in there. And okay, I was about to lubricate this area because on the Sig, it looks like we have stuff that rubs there. Here on the FCU. But here, looks like we just have something here in the groove that follows it. But yeah, let's just go ahead and be fair. We're going to lube this as well in the middle. Okay, put this back on. Now let's double check how much we have used. So now we're at 5, 6, 7, 8. So we've probably used about the same amount, 0.9, or we'll call it 0.95 milliliters. So, all right, I am good here as soon as I use the EWL here in the middle. It's nice that there's a color difference, so don't get any of this mixed up. And we'll put some here on the firing pin. And, yep. And since, like I said, I want to try and do a cleaning test as well, we're going to put some lube here. Okay, so this gets dirty. We can see how easy it wipes down. Okay, so the slide is all lubricated. Since we have it out, we have the advantage of being able to put lube in moving places. Trigger bar slides metal on metal. So let's put some lube in there in the trigger hinge, just like I did on the Steyr. Maybe a dot on this spring. Inside, let's go ahead and do this area here. I would say that's pretty fair. There's a little bit of rub marks here where the barrel goes. So now pretty much lubricated everything there. Let's go ahead and put it back inside. I'm going to lube a little bit here on the rail because you do see some wear under the rail. All right, maybe on the side of the rail here. All right, let's go ahead and put it back together. You can slide this on like that, and it locks in place automatically. Function check, pull the trigger. All right, we are good there. Oh, and by the way, I did forget to show you how much lubrication I did use for the Slip2000. So we started at 2.9 as well, and now we are at 2 milliliters. So just to compare, we've basically used about the same amount. I used less on the P365, probably just because it's a smaller gun and there's not as many areas to lubricate there. So that makes sense. I think it's a fair test so far. So we went from 2.9 to 1.8 here on the Hops 9 and 2.9 to 2. So we used 0.9 here. And 1.1 milliliters on the hop. Okay, so here's what the test is going to be like. I'm going to shoot 1,000 rounds total. 500 rounds in the Steyr, 500 rounds in the Sig. And we're also going to measure the temperatures with my thermal imager that I have. And we're going to see how much wear and tear I'm going to get from each of the guns based on the oils that I have. And we're going to see which oil outperforms the other as far as if I get any malfunctions or any problems while I'm shooting, or maybe generally just how they feel basically when I'm shooting them. If each gun feels smooth or not, or if they're a little gritty, or if they start to grime up. And then at the end of the video, I'm going to tear down and show you guys all the wear and tear. We're going to do a cleaning video as well. We're going to try and clean this gun a little bit with the lubricating gun oil, and then the P365 with the Slip2000 EWL. Slip2000 says that you can clean their guns also with this oil, and it does a really good job. So we're going to try that. Even though that each of these brands has their own dedicated cleaning solutions, we're going to see how much oil can clean the firearms as well based on the existing oil. in the firearms. So maybe just a little bit about these two oils. We'll start with the hops. We'll read the back. Basically, it says it contains mineral oil and avoid prolonged contact with skin or contact with the eyes. And if swallowed, do not induce vomiting, contact a poison control center, keep out of the reach of children. Made in the USA, warning, cancer and reproductive harm. On the front here, high viscosity and penetration, and it's their traditional brand. And then the EWL, what you can see here is that it is pure synthetic metal treatment, lubricates, cleans, protects, penetrates, bonds, reduce friction and wear. So it does say cleans. You can use it for cleaning. So that's why I kind of also want to see if this stuff can clean as well. It's a proprietary anti-wear agent that reduces friction and wear by 95 to 98%. And Felix EP, which is extreme pressure, tested at 4,500 PSI. It's for use on all weapons and weapon systems. Here, I'll just leave this here on the screen so you can kind of read as well more about all of the other things it does. It does remove carbon. I just want to highlight that. And it penetrates into hard to reach areas, digs deep down under copper. But yeah, this is some really good stuff based on the label. We're about ready to find out how well it really does. So let's go out to the range and we'll see you guys out there, okay? Everybody, we are back out here at the range. We're ready to do our torture test, more or less 500 rounds each ammo. The ammo is set up, ready to go. Again, just to recap, we're going to use the Hops 9 gun oil on the Steyr pistol and the Slip2000 EWL on the Sig P365. I'm going to go ahead and load mags, and then we'll get this thing rolling. I'm not going to show all of the rounds. 1,000 rounds is a lot to show on a video. It's going to make it really long, so I'm just going to do the shooting. And then we'll come back to you intermittently, maybe, if I can, just to do some temperature readings and just to do a quick teardown, maybe look and see how the wear and the oil is holding up, and then continue the shooting. If I can't take it all apart because it's maybe too hot or taking too long, we're just going to do all 1,000 rounds, and then we'll come to you at the end to show you the wear and discuss it. Well, they said they got the club here shut down. I was unaware. They said they posted on the Facebook group and emailed the members, but there's no sign up front or anything. So I got to cut it here, and I can't be shooting anymore apparently. I don't know why. They're not using any of these pistol bays. They're doing some kind of match or competition thing at the rifle range, which I'm clear across on the other side of the range. So I'm not sure why they did that. I already took a few shots with the Steyr and the New Republic ammunition. By the way, this ammunition, I'm not biased at all. I've never shot it before. I've never even heard of it before. And so I don't even know how clean or dirty it shoots. But to be honest with the test here, because I have to come back later, I'm just going to tell you guys I shot at least one. I shot one magazine, that's 17. So I've only shot about 26 rounds actually. We're going to do a temperature measurement here before we get too false of a readings, just to see kind of where we're at if we don't get it later. So the hottest part of the gun is 95 degrees. We'll do a capture here. So it got a little bit hot, but not hot enough really to mean anything. And so I'm not going to take it apart. I'm just going to leave the guns as they are. We're going to try to come back later and film the rest of this here so we can see really what the how the lubricants hold up. All right, we are back and we are already set up finally again after being told to leave the range last time I tried to do this test. So since then, it's only been about 3 days. I haven't touched the gun as far as disassembling it or anything or taking a look at it really. We're just going to continue the test where we left off, which was using the Steyr pistol with Hops 9 lubrication on it. And this time I got all magazines loaded. We got 5 magazines of 17 rounds. We're going to go ahead and start shooting. We're going to start this test all over again. I think I'm just going to shoot all 500 right now, or have a little bit less because I started with like 26 last time. I'm going to shoot all the ammunition right now just to speed this up in this gun. Then we'll take a look at it inside. We'll take some temperature readings and we'll start the test with the Sig, with the Slip2000 EWL. And then I think at the end, then we'll try and kind of tear them down and take a look at it. But I just want to get this shooting portion out of the way. We're not going to record all of it and show you guys that, but stay tuned towards the end. We'll show you guys the results, okay? All right, here we go. Steyr Arms. This is a really nice pistol. You guys check it out. Here we go. That's hot, by the way. I think I'm gonna put gloves on. That Steyr got really hot after shooting just 100, 200, about 200 rounds so far. And so, man, I'm gonna put some gloves on. It's just tough to reload when I do that. So anyway, this is our third group of 5 magazines. The gun is getting really hot right now. And by the way, like I said, this ammo is completely new to all of it. Oh, my shoulders are getting tired. 500 rounds is a lot back to back to back. Anyways, we'll come back to you guys in a little bit after I finish off 500 rounds. Okay, this gun is getting super hot. I am seeing smoke come out of it when I'm shooting it. That's got to be oil or something, right? And if we take a look at it, I still have a couple of boxes left to shoot. This barrel is completely dried up. Maybe you can see a little bit of smoke there, but let's see how it is. It's so hot in my hands right now. Good thing I'm wearing gloves. I can feel that heat coming off that frame. 248 still in the chamber, 194. Okay, last magazine, and that's 500, guys. Pay attention to see how much smoke is coming out of the gun. Look at that. I mean, when I'm closing it, I'm seeing just smoke come out of all of the gaps and stuff like that. And let's quickly get the temperature thermometer real quick before this cools down anymore. See if you can see that. Try to bring the gun into frame. We're 270, 271 at the muzzle. 321, guys, inside there. So this thing gets pretty hot. Let's take a look at it a little bit. And basically that this is like pretty much, I mean, what is the little flakes right there? It's got to be gum up particles and stuff like that from the Hops 9. It did not stay on there too long. It seemed like it got burned off pretty fast there over 500 rounds. So just to give my thoughts on this gun with this Hops 9 lubricating oil, no malfunctions. That's the positive. It could be a gun thing too, because this gun's really well built. You usually don't have any problems with Steyr products, really good quality, but this got super hot. And I don't know if it was any match for the Hops 9 traditional gun lube. And we'll take this apart later at the bench and do a little bit of a deeper review and comparison between this and the Sig P365 with the Slip2000 EWL. So with that, let's go ahead and start doing the Slip2000 EWL test with the Sig P365, okay? All right, here we go. I've got the P365 loaded up with a 10-round magazine. I don't have a lot of magazines for this, 2 10s, 1 12, and 1 15, so it's basically one box per group of magazines. But here we go. I'm expecting this gun to get a lot hotter since it is smaller, but we'll see. Not a lot of surface area for the heat to dissipate, but we'll see how the Slip2000 EWL holds up, and we'll see if it really holds up to a smaller gun that probably gets a little bit hotter. So we'll test it out once we get through a lot of rounds. Let's keep going. Well, that's kind of interesting here. So I shot a 15, a 12, a 10, and a 10. So that is a total of 47 rounds. And I had one in the chamber, so we had 48 total. This thing got up to actually 300 degrees really fast. So, but you can tell that oil from Slip2000 EWL is still shiny on the end of that barrel. Really nice stuff here. So let's continue the test. All right, I finally loaded up the last bit of my mags. We're almost done with 500. My fingers are killing me. It's hard to pull the trigger. You're probably gonna see me struggling as soon as I get to the last rounds, but we're gonna finish the last 500 up here on video, and then we're gonna measure it really quick to see how hot this got. My finger is already burning from a small gun like this, and all the heat, I assume all that heat's like right underneath the trigger there. All right, last magazine. All right, let's see how hot it got real quick. You can kind of see now that barrel had some Slip2000 on it. Now it looks like it also kind of dried up a little bit, but if we get the tip of there, we're at 304 degrees. Let's see if we can get it on here. There's the tip of the barrel. I'm gonna try to capture a picture. That's at 278, by the way. But if you put that center spot right on that white tip, 280, it was 300 when I first looked into it. Cooled down a little bit over time here. Inside the chamber, 250 degrees. So we are finished. Let's wrap it up here a little bit at the range before we go home and do the tear down and review of the wear and tear and to see how well each of the oils clean. I did not have any malfunctions as well with this gun and Slip2000 EWL. With this stuff right here, which is really good stuff. I noticed that the gun still stayed quite smooth. You can still see a lot of reflection of the oil here on the guide rod. Let's see if I can take it apart. It's so hot right now. Okay, got the thing. It's hard to work with gloves. Oh man, this is so hot to hold in my hand actually. But you can also see, and we'll do this more at home too, but a lot of the Slip2000 remained actually in the slide there. Let's see what it looked like on the Steyr here. Regarding that, it looks like it did gum up or get a little bit of carbon in the slides there from the Hops 9. It doesn't look as shiny or slippery as the Slip 2000. So again, let's go home, take these apart where it's air conditioned. I can be more comfortable to do a good analysis of this. Other than that, yeah, the P365 with the Slip 2000, even on the gun rail there, it's pretty slick there still. This stuff, it was rated for, I think, 2,000 to 4,000 rounds. We only shot 500 through it, got super hot, 300 degrees. The only issue I would say is that my arm got really tired doing all 500 for each gun, 1,000 rounds total. But we finally did it. Let's take a look at all of the damage right there. This is about what 1,000 rounds of ammo looks like. There's still some scattered or sprinkled around it that didn't all land on the blanket, but we did it. We got it done. Let's go to the workbench and discuss it. So here we are back at the workbench to take a look at the insides and see how well these lubricating oils performed. So today is Monday night. It's been 5 days since I last took these shootings, so the guns are cold. So we're gonna see how well the oil has stood up to after cooling and sitting for a while. So let's go ahead and take a look inside. We'll take a look first at the Steyr and the Hops 9 lubricating gun oil. All right, now here is the very first look of what it looks like with the Hops 9. It doesn't look too dirty. I mean, it still looks pretty dirty, I think. It's pretty, how would I say, thick or gummed up here, I think, here on the edges. Or wow, it's on there hard, actually. Hard to scrape that off. It doesn't just rub off very easily. Let's take a look real quick and compare the Sig. And the Sig had the EWL Slip 2000. And you can still see it's a little shiny. It's still remaining a little bit more. We're seeing more oil or lubricant. But let's save that till the end after we take a look at this Steyr and note any differences. So I think first I'm going to try to clean this up with Hops 9 lubricating oil. And then I'm going to take pictures of the parts here that I took from before, and then I'm going to put them side by side to see what the wear and tear looks. So let's go ahead and do that. So I am wearing gloves this time just because if I get dirt on my hands or something, we can kind of see how much dirt is coming off. But we're going to go ahead and use a little wipe like this and put some Hops 9 on it. And we're going to try to use it as gun cleaner because you can do that with Slip 2000 according to the claim. So let's see how much comes off of here. Okay, looks good so far. But I am finding myself having to kind of scrub pretty good or rub a little bit more on the rails to kind of see that come off. So I started filming the cleaning portion of this video without realizing how long it was going to get. It was going to be a really long segment, so I cut it down and sped it up into like a time lapse, but I'll get to the point of how well each one cleans after this time lapse. Basically, I was going through each nook and cranny that I could, wiping each one with the respective oils, and then I used EWL additionally on the Steyr after cleaning it with Hops 9 as well, so that we could see how much dirt and grime I could clean up and see how much more I could get that the Hops 9 couldn't get. I think I'm done here with the cleaning. In the end, I think, let's see here. Here's what the Slip 2000's rags looked like compared to what the Hops 9 looked like. So on the left here, I would say that we got a little bit more dirt off than we did with the Hops 9 if you look over here. So, I mean, I have 3 rags over here, of course, but I was able to just use 2. And even if we use 3, I don't think, you know, anyone would be too much lighter than that. I think the evidence is there that you can see 2 really dark, good patches here. If you put, you know, these together, I don't think we're going to get even more. But one of these actually was additional to the Hops 9. So I was able to clean up or pick up even more dirt than I was with the Hops 9. So the Slip 2000 here, I would say is the clear winner here as far as the cleaning portion of the firearms. All right, next step is here. Let's go ahead and clean all of the firearm parts, take them out and take pictures, and then we'll come back and analyze the before and afters, okay, and see how well the lubrication did. By the way, this is the Slip 2000 725 ultrasonic cleaner. You can see how cloudy it's getting already, but yeah, that stuff works amazing. I would highly recommend that as well if you guys are looking into Slip 2000 products. So let's wrap this up into a summary of the before and afters. I am showing Slip 2000 on the top and Hops 9 on the bottom. You can see the before and afters here on the slide looking at their bottom sides, and the red boxes you will see are just areas that I primarily am focusing on. I don't have much to say as I don't notice much of a difference. I would probably say that 500 rounds might not have been enough to see any big differences. However, the Hops 9 on the Steyr didn't do a bad job, but there seems to be a bit more wear than the Slip 2000 EWL. Take a look at the after photo. In the after photo for the Steyr Hops 9, you will see additional wear there on the left where the barrel rubs against the slide. This could be break-in, but it is important to note the wear. It's the same wear the small square at the bottom right shows. With the Sig, the Slip 2000 EWL more or less prevented any further wear, and that's what I could determine. The condition of the metal parts were about the same, if not still the same, which is good. Also, getting the same kind of angle and lighting between the pics that I took before and after is challenging, but I did the best I could. The next couple of pictures show the side views of the slides where I was trying to focus on the rails to see if I noticed any major changes, which I didn't. The rails pretty much had the same condition, but again, only 500 rounds were used for the test. This comparison here shows the FCU from the Sig P365 with the Slip 2000 EWL. I see no noticeable differences, and any shinier areas in the after photos were just the glare of the lights, which I compared physically the part to the before picture to ensure that there was no additional wear. For the last slide here, there's no noticeable differences on the FCU of the Steyr either that I could notice, and the primary wear was evident on the slide versus the FCU. So the slide was wearing more than the FCU. So that's it for this, a very long video. Sorry about that, but I figured we needed to get as much information in this video as possible so that we could show that we did a good, proper test, and I hope I did the best that I could. And I would say that between these two oils, this one, I think, comes out on top over the Hops 9. The Hops 9 isn't a terrible oil if you need something in a pinch. It's probably going to get you by, but you're going to be more satisfied with the Slip 2000 products, especially the EWL, as far as being able to have more longevity with your firearms and a lot less wear in the long run. So if you would like to buy some Slip 2000, go ahead and look in my description. You'll find a link to a coupon code to help pay for 10% off of your order. Pick yourself up something from their website and you for sure won't be disappointed. Thanks for watching. Go ahead and click subscribe and a like if you really like this content, and let me know if you guys want to see more of this kind of stuff. And if you have any questions or comments, put them in the comment section. And if you don't like this video, go ahead and click that thumbs down button twice. We'll see you in the next video.